Years ago, I read Gifted Hands by Dr. Ben Carson, and that book left such a beautiful impression in my heart. It contained one of the most transformative stories I ever heard about reading and the power in reading. Join me today as we look at that beautiful story. I am Ngozi Okure. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If today is your first time here, please subscribe to my channel. You will love what we do here. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to read books, and we'll be looking at the life of Ben Carson to extract some beautiful lessons on how to read books from this story. Now, Ben Carson is a renowned American neurosurgeon, politician, and author. And his story is such a very beautiful one. It was said of him that he was raised by a mother, a single mother, who did multiple jobs to provide for him and his brother Curtis. Now, they were doing so poorly in school that the school's guidance counselor had to counsel the mother to come and withdraw them from school to go learn a trade. Now, the counselor felt that they were not good enough for school. This mother had a lot of faith in her kids. Instead of withdrawing them from school, this was what she did. She came up with a template that eventually made those two boys highly successful in life. Okay, what did she come up with? She decided to withdraw their distractions. She removed much of their television watching hours. She removed much of the hours they spent in hanging out with the boys, counseled them to register in the local library and to borrow 2 books every week, read the 2 books, and send her summaries. Now, the boys began to do this, and with time, after doing this for a season, do you know what happened? The 2 boys moved from being F students, the both of them became A students. And eventually, Carson went ahead to become a doctor, went ahead to become a neurosurgeon, while Curtis, his brother, was an engineer. Okay, so now looking at this story, I want to extract 4 things before we talk about reading, right? I want to extract 4 beautiful lessons from this story. Please subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. Yes, okay. Now, the first thing I can get from this story is that there are no F students. There are no dull students. The school counselor called Carson dull. They called Curtis dull. But were they dull? They were not dull. They were not dull. You can see that immediately the distractions that was affecting their grades were removed. The 2 boys became A students and went ahead to become highly successful. So it's possible you're listening to me now, you're a mother, and your children are not doing well in school, and somebody is calling them dull students. They are not dull. It's possible they are distracted. And once you're able to remove the distractions, you will see that your children will move from F to A, right? Now, the second thing I could see from this story is the fact that Carson was brought up in abject poverty. The mother did multiple jobs to see him through school. But by reading, this young man moved from poverty. In fact, in his own words, he said he escaped poverty and racism by reading. Now, leaving us an example that reading can always be an escape route from poverty. It was Jim Rohn that said that financial literacy always precedes financial freedom. In his own words still, Ben Carson said that reading those books helped him to envision a future beyond where he was. So he was able to receive vision, he was able to receive ideas from books, because books are idea banks. He was able to receive the necessary ideas that helped him to go to school and then to excel in life. So if right now you're listening to me and you're not doing so well, you don't know what to do with your life, I encourage you to go back to books, right? And begin to read books just like Carson, because inside books, you will see a lot of ideas, and they say that ideas rule the world. In fact, I believe that much of the poverty that is endemic in this part of the world is tied to the lack of interest in reading in this side of the world. Because you see, someone said that your earning is tied to your learning. When you learn, you earn. Of course, we know that the stories of men are in their books. So when you read the books of wealthy people, you will see the steps they took in becoming wealthy, and you too can equally become wealthy. Just like Carson was able to escape poverty and racism by reading. Now, the third thing I can see from this story is that you should reject negative labels. You should reject negative labels. If anybody calls you a name that God did not give you, somebody says you're poor, somebody says you're sick, somebody says you're dull, reject all those negative labels, because you are created in the image of God, and God is excellent, so you are excellent from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. All you need to do is to read and learn. Okay, our learning is tied to our earning. Reject every negative labels and call yourself what God calls you. Now, the fourth thing I want to say from this story is that everyone should borrow the template that Mrs. Sanya used for her sons. Her template was for the children to read 2 books every week, and then to send her a summary. Okay, so if you can borrow that template, instead of your children watching cartoon all day, instead of them playing video games all day, if you can also enforce that your children should read 2 books every week and send you a report, send you a summary, you will see that your children will equally excel, just like Ben Carson and his brother. Now, having said that, this video is on how to read books. So what lessons can we glean from the story of Ben Carson on how to read books? You can see that they read consistently. Now, to be able to read 2 books and to send the summary every week, to read 2 books every week, that meant that they read every day. And that is the secret to reading. That is the secret to reading and winning by reading. Reading every day. Consistency is the game of champions, okay? I thought Terry Savelle that I had say that there are a couple of things that successful people do every day, and reading is part of it. The same successful people read every day. You must have equally heard the saying that there are 2 things that will not leave you the same. One is the books you read and the company you keep. So reading books is so important, and it is supposed to be a daily thing. Read every day. Carson and his brother read every day. That's how to read effectively. You don't read effectively by reading today and then you won't read again for the next 2 weeks. No. To read books effectively, you have to read consistently. You have to read every day. Then read without distraction. These days with the cell phone, don't read with your cell phone beeping with notification beside you. No, create time. It could be a routine thing. You just develop time, a time of being with the books and without distractions. Okay, you can map out 30 minutes, it could be 1 hour just to read. Just schedule a time. There's this saying that until something becomes specific, it doesn't get dynamic. If you don't specify the time when you need to read and drop all the distractions, you will not be able to read effectively. I believe that's what Carson and Curtis did. The next thing I could see on how to read books from the story of Carson and his brother Curtis is that they read with a pen. They read taking notes of major points. There's no way they could have comprehended everything they read, but they were able to extract the major points which they sent to their mother. So that is an effective way of reading. You're reading and you're extracting the major points so that you can always go through them over and over again and retain as much as possible from the books read. So that's what we can see from the story of Ben Carson and Curtis. They started off poor and they became wealthy. They started off failing in school and they excelled and became A students. Why? Because they created time to read. So thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful video. I encourage you to borrow that template from Mrs. Sonia. Whether you're a parent or you are a student, everybody should be reading. Reading does a lot of good to us, okay? Thank you so much. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Thank you so much. Until I come your way next time, remain richly blessed.